Today I'm gonna go over 3 simple and easy steps to become a bartender with no experience. So my name is Alton. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. I actually became a bartender with no prior experience at all. I became a bartender in the matter of about 2 weeks of me coming up and deciding on the idea that I actually wanted to go through with it. From 2 weeks of the inception of I want to become a bartender, 2 weeks later I had my first job with no experience. I didn't know anything about bartending prior to that, and today I'm gonna show you guys how I did it and tell you guys the exact 3 steps you have to do. Step number 1. So my mother always told me this great thing as I was growing up. She always told me, Alton, you have to study to show yourself approved. And with bartending, it's no different. If you wanna go into a bar and become a bartender, you have to make it at least seem like you know your way around the bar at least a little bit. So you have to know what a jigger is. You have to know what your shaker is. You have to know the difference between your different types of alcohols. You have to know what kind of alcohols go good with the different juices and simple syrups. And you have to know how to get your pours right. And how you do that? The internet. Literally just go on YouTube and like this video, type in how to become a bartender. That's what I did, and so many videos came out. So many videos were from a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. This is probably gonna be the most up-to-date video that you've seen so far, but even a lot of those old videos have a lot of good knowledge. And the second part of this is that you have to learn your cocktails. So at the end of the day, bartending is about being able to make a good drink. If you can make a good drink, as a bartender, nobody can tell you anything. So the number 1 thing that you have to do is learn the specs of cocktails. What I did when I was becoming a bartender, I went on the National Bartender Association website. I figured out the top 20 cocktails that there are. I think it was like the top 20 or the top 30, and I memorized all of the specs. When I was researching how to become a bartender, I didn't have any equipment to practice with. I didn't have jiggers, I didn't have shakers, but I did have the know-how and the capacity to go out there and learn how to make these drinks. So it's not hard. If you really want to do it, you'll get it done. Step number 2, and this is something that most people will probably tell you not to do, but this is what I did. Honestly, Lord forgive, but you have to lie. You have to create a resume that shows that you've worked at least like 2 or 3 different bars in the past. You can put that you were private party bartender. So basically like you have your own bartending business and you do private parties for people that book like your bartending service. I think the best way is just to lie on your resume, make it seem like you've been a bartender before, but also with step 1, knowing the specs, knowing how to make drinks, because as long as you know the specs of cocktails, all the other stuff will come pretty soon. And my last good tip with that will be try to apply to places like bowling alleys, Buffalo Wild Wings, BJ's, kind of like these more corporate places, because they don't really vet you as hard, I feel like, for your prior bartending experience. And a lot of these places are more willing to train you than your average classic cocktail bar or craft cocktail bar. So look for these corporate places like Buffalo Wild Wings. I feel like they're always hiring. Like I had an interview to go there before I got my first bartending job. And if I wouldn't have gotten my bartending job at a craft cocktail bar, I probably would have ended up working at one of these corporate jobs. And that at least gives you experience so you can get the ball rolling. And after you've been at these places for like, say, 3 months, 6 months, then you can take that actual experience and put it on your resume for real and start applying to some of these other actual bars. So those are my 3 tips for becoming a bartender. I feel like it's really not that hard. I have to say I really was blessed by God. He helped me a lot in the process with just me, like literally from like the inception of me wanting to become a bartender. I remember it clear as day. I wanted to become a bartender. 2 weeks later, I got my first bartending job, but I put in the work in the meantime. Literally every night, I was watching bartending YouTube videos. I was writing down cocktails. I was remembering cocktail specs. So if you want to do it, you have to go out there and do the work and make sure that you get into that position where you can actually become a bartender. And the money is pretty good. Being a bartender, you can save up a lot of money, tips. You don't really have to pay taxes as much, but that's another video. So if you guys want another video on just bartending things, comment down below. If you're new to the channel, my name is Alton. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.